Hey, I'm Stormy Atlantis, and welcome back to my channel, where we are seeking alignment, discovering esoteric knowledge, and unraveling ancient mysteries. So it's been a few weeks, or a couple of weeks, since I made a YouTube video. I've kind of been on a weird hiatus, and today I decided that I'm going to just explain my whole spiritual journey. I'm sure that this is going to be the longest video I've made yet, but I think it's pertinent now that I'm coming back from my little hiatus to kind of lay the groundwork of where I'm at, how I got here. The last 2 weeks have been a bit of an existential crisis. It started with the flu, which I'm not even sure if the flu caused the crisis or the crisis caused the flu, but I got real sick for a while there. And while being sick, I kind of lost my whole belief system and my faith, and it was a hard time. So I've decided that the first video I really want to put forth as I'm getting back into this is going to just be a very authentic and genuine explanation of who I am and how I got here and why I'm making this channel in terms of my personal journey. Everyone's journey is obviously different, and I'm going to explain mine. This video is probably going to be pretty uncut. I'm not sure that there's going to be much editing for me to do. It's going to be a bit of a ramble. So I hope you're ready for it. So my journey started unusually young, but I had a huge break in the middle of it. So I first got, I guess, onto this path at about the age of 9. My cousin had gotten some Wicca love spell book, got in huge trouble at school and needed to get rid of it. She gave it to me to just to get rid of it. And I was immediately fascinated. So Wicca was where I started. And then as I learned about the origins of Wicca, and it really just being kind of an alteration of paganism, the original, I was like, okay, I want to go to the roots. So it was into paganism. From there, I began to explore Native American shamanism, Judaism, Celtic belief structures, and paranormal activity. I got really into hauntings and ESP and psychic abilities, and just kind of, I was just, this is before the days of Google, so it was kind of just me at the library, constantly, endlessly checking out books and sitting there reading books and just consuming endless amounts of information. And I did that all the way up until about the age of 16, 17, when I had a really crazy experience involving what I, at the time, interpreted to be an evil entity of sorts. And I had experienced, I had a lot of, people usually refer to them as sleep paralysis demons. That was my entire adolescence. Was constantly encountering weird entities and having a lot of strange experiences. And I was having a lot of strange experiences and encountering strange beings and accidentally astral projecting and not understanding it. I didn't have a guide. I didn't have anybody else in my life who was interested in these things. So I had no one to talk to. It was a weird taboo subject. These days, it's so much more acceptable to discuss these things. But in my youth, no, that was just devil worshiping. So I couldn't talk to anybody about it. I didn't have any guide. I didn't have, the internet to figure anything out. So it was just kind of a crazy ride. And then when I was about 16 to 17, I reached my limit. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm done. And I had a really traumatic experience, and I literally just kind of turned it off. I intentionally had gone into meditation, shut off my third eye, and considered it done. Actually, side note, I had my first oneness experience right before then, because I had this crazy, weird experience that corresponded with this really enlightening experience. There was a tree that was my best friend. My best friend was a tree when I was 16, so that's cool. And I used to meditate with this tree all the time. I just sit outside and just kind of connect with this tree. It was my happy place. And one day, this tree kind of conveyed to me that it wanted to show me something. And I was like, okay, tree, I guess we're talking now. Sure, show me what you got. And as I agreed to see whatever it was it wanted me to see, the wind like blew through my body. And I like disintegrated and expanded outwardly, like, like endlessly. And I was kind of everywhere at once, but centered in the spot that I was in. It was really amazing. But at the same time, I then went and had this crazy experience, dark, uncomfortable experience, the next day. Like it was just this push and pull, and I had no one to talk to about it. I was real freaked out. So I kind of just shut it off. And for me, I had always kind of studied the power of ritual. I've always been really about the power of rituals. And my original ideology and my original mentality about it when I was young was that by creating a ritual, I was like an orchestrator. I was leveraging the powers of various elements and entities to bring forth my will. And that the power existed within those items, within the ritual itself. And then when I was 17, I met this guy, and he said, I don't need any tools to cast a spell. I could just do that sitting here right now. And something about those words like struck me, and I had a full paradigm shift where I just went, oh shit, I'm the magic. That's wild. The concept, I don't know how it had escaped me, but it had. And then I kind of came around to this idea that, no, I'm the magic, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't practicing any of it. And from really, honestly, the age of about 17 until 33, I didn't practice anything. I was gifted my first tarot deck by my aunt when I was 12. And that's the only thing I really held on to over the years. And the only time I ever practiced anything, pulled cards, meditated, used candles, or did anything, any ritual of any kind, any spell work, you might call it, was only in crisis. It was like a estranged Catholic who would go to confessional when their life fell upside down. Or it's like when I didn't know what else to do, I always came back to these ideas of mine, and I would pull my cards, and I would light a candle, and I would focus intentions, and I would do little rituals, but I would only do that, and then I would leave it alone. I still consumed a bit of information. As the internet progressed, we had social media, et cetera, I would follow these pages and these people, so I was kind of still consuming the information as I got older, but I was too afraid to jump back into it. So then, age 33, which was, I'm 34 now. So it was about a year, well, actually, I guess I would have been 32. Sorry. It was 32. It was about 2 years ago, almost exactly about 2 years ago, when I had just reached this point where I was so unhappy with every single thing in my life, and I just didn't know what to do, and I forgot who I was and who am I and what am I doing? Right? I worked 60 hours a week. I hated my relationship. I was constantly busy. I was just miserable and unhappy at everything I was doing. So I went out and I bought a bunch of books. I got Yasmin Boland's Moonology, and I got The Untethered Soul and You Are a Badass, and a few other kind of self-improvement and spiritual growth kind of books. And as soon as I started, Moonology was the first one that I read. I started reading it and I was like, I miss this. Like, it was like coming home. And I was so excited. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. So from about March of 2018 until about July of 2018, I consumed these books. I started buying candles and burning more incense, and I remembered my faith, my beliefs, I had been so estranged from them. And I left them alone for so long. So, July 2018, July 2018, I did a moon ritual. I haven't done this since I was like 16. And at this point, I was 33 now. I put this in May, so I had turned 33. Magical year. And I decided to do a moon ritual, which I hadn't done in so long. And my only intention, my only message, my only thing was I told the universe, told the moon, told the universe, I told everything, whatever, that I would do anything. Anything it told me to do. To just feel at peace. Because I was so tired. I specifically asked to feel light of heart. And I tried to imagine what that must feel like. To just be at peace. It's a foreign concept to me. So, and the next day, a friend of mine who just recently moved to New Mexico, he calls me and he was like, "Hey, how are you?" Okay. And he said, how are things with my boyfriend? And I said, same. I walk on eggshells. He's living mad anyways. And he said, you should move into my old apartment. You should just move in there. I can call the landlord. And I was like, I mean, go ahead and try, but I've applied for a bunch of places and I never could get in one. Which was true. I had for months, all of 2018 really, kept my eye out for apartments, and I went and checked a few out. I applied. Houses for rent. I wanted to leave. I was so unhappy. But I couldn't find anywhere to go. I was like trapped. And he said, I'm going to call my landlord. And I was like, I guess, sure. So he calls me back and he's like, yeah, I talked to him. You're good to go. He wants to meet you immediately. And I was like, universe? Okay, I guess. And the next day I go and I meet this landlord. And he's like, yeah, here's the application. Fill it out. Just bring it back. It's a formality. We can get you in right away. And that was on a Friday. By Sunday, I was approved, ready to go. I was talking to another friend of mine, who was very supportive of me leaving the relationship. And I was like, I mean, I'm approved, but like, I would need $2,000 to move in there. I need first month's rent. I need deposit. I need so many things. Like, this is an expense. How could I possibly make this happen? And within like 60 seconds, her boyfriend PayPal'd me $2,000 and just said, go. It was just go. And I was like, I guess that's what we're doing. I guess we're doing that then. How do you don't tell the universe you'll do anything. And then within like that weekend, I had a place and all the money needed to move there. So the next day, it's Monday, I'm the last one in the office at work. I sit at my desk and I cry like a baby because I'm about to go home and tell my boyfriend of 4 years that I'm leaving. Not only am I leaving, but like I'm leaving immediately. I have a place, I'm out. It was hard. And then I go home and the house is spotless. He did the laundry, he made the bed, he cooked dinner, he greeted me at the door with a hug and a kiss and asked me how my day was. It was like everything I ever wanted. And he was so sweet and cute. And I was like, oh shit. I started laughing. Like, I literally just started laughing. Like hysterical, mental, psychotic breakdown laughing. To the point that he then also started to laugh. Because he was like, oh my God, what's so funny? And I was like, oh no, this isn't funny for you. I was so weird and like erratic and out of my mind that he literally asked me, genuinely, inquiring if I had eaten LSD at work, which of course not. But that's how like wacky I seemed, that I just seemed like, oh, I was giggling for no reason. And he's laughing and he's like really into it. And he's like, oh my God, this is fun. And then I was like, no, this isn't funny. You stop laughing. And he's like, what is happening? And I was like, we need to talk. And he was like, about what? And I was like, it's not funny. Let's go outside. Oh my God. So I go outside and he's like, the fuck is happening? And then I tell him, and not impressed, obviously. And that was it. Within 2 weeks, actually on the full moon, I did my ritual on the new moon, and I moved in on the full moon. And if that's not the fucking power of a moon ritual, I don't know what is. And that was kind of almost like my rebirth into this entire realm. So then, this is where the story gets really fun. So then about, I think it was like 2 weeks, maybe 3? 2 or 3 weeks after I move out, after I just did this moon ritual, and I'm like, oh shit. I then, I go and I partake in a sacred plant medicine ceremony, ayahuasca. 3 of them, actually, in a row, 3 night ceremonies in a row. And was like, if you know anything about ayahuasca, plant medicine, that shit is wild, man. It was shattering. And I'm not going to go into all of that now because I could probably make a 3-hour-long video talking about it. If it's something you are interested in, if you would like to hear those stories, then leave a comment, let me know. If enough people are interested, I will tell the stories. But suffice it to say, I died. I died. Like, I'm not sure that you'll ever convince me I didn't actually die. I died into my first ceremony. And I was reborn, and it was crazy. And it really propelled me full force back into my belief structure. And it was crazy. This is the way that I kind of see it. I spent all these years kind of obtaining this esoteric knowledge and consuming this information. I believed we're all one. I believed in the inherent power of crystals. I believed in a lot of these things, right? I believed I had a very spiritual outlook in life, and these concepts existed within me. But it's kind of like, you know, when you update your software on a computer, and it like, first it shuts down, and then it's like downloading new program, like downloading new software, and it has to like download all the software, and then it can install it, and you can begin operating off of that system. That's what I feel like happened to me for 33 fucking years. Like, I really feel like for 33 years, I just obtained all this information. I was like downloading the new program, like, okay, yep, cool. And then I went and I did ayahuasca, and it was like, install, reboot, new operating system live. And it was like, I knew this information, but it didn't fundamentally exist in me yet. Like, now it's I don't even know how to explain it. It's fully immersed in every molecule of my being. You know, all the things that I thought I understood, I fundamentally understand. They're intuitive now. They're like a part of me. So that was August of 2018. So July to August 2018, real intense time for me. And I have 2 children, by the way. So it's not like I just was like, all right, guy, I'm out of here. I had 2 children. He has a child. I split apart a whole family. Moved away, went and did 3 nights of ayahuasca, and was like, the fuck just happened to my whole life? Like, paradigm shift over and over, like, ugh. And then I would love to say that I went and did ayahuasca and I became this super enlightened, awesome person, but that is not what the fuck happened. I went and did ayahuasca and shit got dark. Like, the reason why I'm so inspired to make this video right now is that throughout my existential crisis in the last 2 weeks, I went ahead and I read my journals. So I started journaling avidly right after I left my boyfriend. So this is that would be 2018 journal. So I went through and I read everything. And it's fun because, and then I have my pre-ceremony entry where I'm like, oh, I'm ready to shed my old self. I'm ready to blah, blah, blah. And then I have a really brief entry after I do my first ceremony where it barely even makes sense, honestly. And that was, so let's see. I did my ceremony on August 31st. So September 1st, the next day after my first ceremony, I wrote like a small paragraph that was like, I feel like I have been ripped open. And then my next entry is October 22nd, basically 2 months later. And it starts off with, I wish my first entry after the ceremonies was one of enlightenment. I wish I could write about all the fantastic wisdoms I now possess, but I am instead in a dark place. I feel as though I went through all 3 ceremonies hoping to be a bright light, but it only started the smallest of embers, and I am walking alone with this tiny flame, trying to stoke it with only the air in my shallow lungs. I'm sad. I'm sad as fuck. This whole entry is like, why am I alive? What am I doing? And there's a lot of that for months and months after I did ayahuasca. I was just a shell of a person trying to figure out what I was doing. It was dark. It was hard. And in retrospect, I now see that it was what is commonly referred to as the dark night of the soul. I see that now. I had to figure it all out. I died in ceremony, and then I had to reassemble a new person. And I didn't know anything. I was a baby. As a matter of fact, fun tidbit on my first ceremony, I didn't understand after I died. I didn't understand social norms. I started tearing shit apart that didn't belong to me. I didn't understand anything. I was like a newborn baby. And then after ceremony, I had to figure out how to be a fucking person. And that shit was hard. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing? I don't understand anything. Now there's people in the world who are like, what lipstick should I wear today? And I love lipstick. I'm about that life. But for months, I was like, why do I breathe? Like, why do I exist? What am I doing? What is the purpose? Like, lost. Just lost. And then slowly it came together. And that was August 2018, March 2019. I did 3 more ceremonies. And I don't know, man, everything clicked. Everything finally started to click. It started making sense. I've got great guides now. It's not like when I was a teenager and I didn't know anybody I could talk to. I have people now. I have people ahead of me and people behind me. People who can teach me, people I can teach. And I learn from teaching and I learn from learning. And I'm learning so much so quickly. And based on some recent evolutions, it looks like I'm probably going to do a lot more plant medicine this year. So stay tuned for that. Now, if I said I did this plant medicines and now I'm just a ray of light and hope, I would be fucking lying. Because in July of 2019, a year after the grand revelation of 2018, I lost my job, I lost my car, I lost a lot of my closest friends, I lost everything. My children didn't want to live with me anymore. Shit was dark. And I live in a small town outside of the town that everybody I know lives in, with no vehicle, no money, no job, no anything. It has been hard. And I've been in this deep state of isolation. And I've just been like digging in to my spirituality. That's been my savior. It's what I'm clinging to. That's what I'm studying. I'm spending all my time on it. I'm like, okay, what do I have to learn? What is this teaching me? What is the next step? What is my evolution? What am I being pushed to do? And over and over and over and over and over, the message was this channel, this entity, Stormy Atlantis. Share it. Share your journey. Share your whatever. So it's something that I have done with great discomfort. I am overweight. I'm uncomfortable with my physical appearance, my face, my body. I don't even like my voice. I don't like my speech pattern. Learning to be comfortable in front of the camera and then post it on the internet all the people to see on a subject which is quite taboo and that I'm not fully, or haven't been fully comfortable embracing publicly anyways, has been, whoo, rough. I've only been doing this for a couple of months and oh my God, it's been crazy. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Now, a few weeks ago, I reached a point where I was like, I'm all out of unemployment. I still don't have any income. I don't know what to do. How am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to pay my utilities? A friend of mine, a beautiful human, a god of a person, gave me a car. However, I haven't been able to buy insurance or get it legal. So it's just sitting in my driveway like, one day you can drive me. And I'm like, how do I do any of this? And I was so lost and I felt forsaken by the universe. Like, how have I come this far? I've done everything I've been told. I have followed all the signs. I've done so much shadow work, so much healing, so much digging into the roots of my subconscious and figuring out my triggers and my traumas and healing them and reconciling them and embracing my shadows and doing all of the things that you're supposed to do to be the best human I can be, only to be lost again. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And I got real sick, like a week and a half of, I can barely get out of bed, flu, fever through the roof, just sweating and shaking and depressed. And I stopped posting videos here. I was in no shape to tell anybody anything about anything. And then a friend called me and she goes, hey, how are you? I got the feeling I should call you. And I was like, oh, I'm not good. I am not good. I've lost my faith. I have no beliefs. I came to this idea that maybe all of these things I've come to believe were just coping mechanisms that I'm using to deal with the trauma in my life because I don't want to face the harsh reality. And it's all bullshit. Crystals aren't shit. Manifestation is garbage. Like, none of it's real. I'm just convincing myself and I'm a fraud. How am I on the internet telling people to do this? Like, oh, dark, not good. And she was like, okay, calm down. I'll be there Friday. And she shows up with Copal and, Palo Santo and Sage and Love. And she's like, okay, let's talk. And after about 10 minutes of talking, she goes, do you have plans this weekend? And I was like, no, I don't have a fucking life. I have nothing to do. I have no job. I have no life. I have no friends. I just sit here. She was like, okay, pack a bag. You're coming to my house all weekend. We've got more work to do. And so I'm like, all right, fuck it. So I go to her house and her being a fucking angel. She cleanses me. She makes me herbal tea blends. We get out some cards. We start doing some deep shadow work, some quantum healing, and journaling. And like, she starts walking me through what is the issue? What is the issue? What is the issue? And I do that for 2 days with her. And then she sends me home. And I'm like, okay, all right, I have my faith back. I thought, that's good. We're getting there. And I'm putting together pieces. I mean, as of right now, it's, I don't know, what day is it? February 23rd, 24th, something like that. And my February rent still isn't paid. But I think I'm going to be able to pay it. I mean, last minute. My landlord definitely hates me right now. But it's coming together. It's coming together. And I've been reminded. The universe has been reminding me in my daily messages and tarot pulls that, like, it's time. Like, you have to do what we told you to do. Like, you've got to share your story. You've got to share your journey. Stop making videos that you think people need to see or that you think people want to see, that you think will get the most views, and just make the videos that you feel like you're supposed to fucking make. Just do what's natural. Stop overthinking it. Trust your intuition. Fucking do it. It'll all work out. Build it and they will come, if you will. So, here I am. This is probably the longest fucking video ever, and I cannot believe I've cried in it. But fuck it. It's what we're doing. I feel a lot better. I've done a lot of work these last couple of weeks. I feel in tune. I saw the power of doing inner work and seeing outer results. After that weekend, I spent 7 days just, that's it, just digging in, doing the work, journaling until my hands swelled up. And I have a lot of prospective income. Maybe not a lot, but I have prospective income. And like, it all just kind of came to me. I didn't go looking for it. I did the work internally, and then opportunities just started to arise. And I was like, thank you. So here I am. I'm back at it. I'm making more videos. I'm going to do the videos that I feel need to be done, as well as requests. I know I still have a tarot request that I'm going to get to soon. And that's where I'm at. And if you made it to the end of this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you made it. I feel like I just went on the longest fucking tangent that I'm not sure if anybody's interested in. It's going to be hard for me to stomach watching this again, I know. Ugh, just crying like a baby. Whatever. This is me. I'm Stormy. I'm trying to be authentic. I'm trying to share my journey. It's very hard for me, but I'm doing it. Oh my God, am I gonna cry again? Oh, what the fuck? Anyways, that's it. Stay tuned. I have a lot more things I want to share with you. I have a lot of things I've learned that I think will be useful. It's been a journey, this life of mine. And over the course, I've learned a lot of techniques, a lot of methods, a lot of wisdoms, and a lot of truths. And I'm still learning. I have a long way to go. But as I journey, I would like to share it with you. So that's all I have. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.